I actually like how we can hold mics. It's more fun.
Right, yeah,
It's
you
kind
can
of
put it on your
boring when you have to
hand.
just like lean into one.
Yeah.
And then you fall back. At least this way I can control.
Especially if you're gonna sing because surprise, this is a karaoke show. Kidding.
Labis na nainip.
Umuwi ka na, baby, because we're gonna have to send you back to Canada.
Okay. Do you know why I chose that song? Because it's the only one I can get 100 score in videoke. So
Really?
yeah, literally. It's either that one or my Bisaya rap song. It's like topsy lug, longsy lug, tossy lug, sinu lug,
lagyan mo
imong
ng-
itlog, papara iyong itlog.
Lagyan mo ng sukang pinakurat.
Buwad sukasili, sikwati. That's
What's sikwati?
That's the
Sausawan?
so the buwad sukasili is sikwati is the Bisaya version of dried fish, vinegar, and chilies with hot chocolate.
Man, he knows much more than me. Welcome to Case Drama. Welcome to Case Drama.
Yay.
We've got Kulas.
Yeah, wow, you said that so like.
Kulas. Kulas is here.
Can you say
You
that
don't look
again?
like a kulas.
Did you just emphasize the S?
Kulas.
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 I sound like a
Yeah.
superhero or something.
Right.
That's very cool.
Dun, 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 dun. Kulas.
Thanks. Thanks for the intro. That's very
Right.
theatrical. I liked it.
Kulas is actually Kyle Yennerman. Did I get it
Wow,
right?
you even said the German
here.
version up here.
Yeah.
You might be the only person in the
Now
history of any media to say Yennerman, which is the correct pronunciation.
Any media, and this is podcast media, right?
It's a big deal.
You know, when I was in school, the main media lesson was the medium is the message. Sir Anjo, hi, shout out to you. That's what he taught
It's
us.
very, very deep.
The medium is the message. Yeah. So podcast, yeah, we say your name correctly.
Yeah, I think that's
Kulas.
great.
Yennerman.
I feel like you just got some street cred with me now. You know,
Really?
sometimes I'm like, I don't know if I want to, talk too much or media or things. Not to say I get many offers, but the fact you said my last name, the German Yennerman
Yeah.
old school way, I think my dad's gonna watch this and be like,
Dad!
you know what, Karylle is my favorite.
Yeah,
my
sprechen
favorite.
Sie Deutsch, Dad.
Oh.
Hello. Edelweiss, Edelweiss.
Do you know actually? Do you have any like European blood or any sort of like background from like another country or
Jutay lang.
Jutai?
Jutay is konti lang, no?
Jutai lang? I should know that. Hold up.
Konti lang.
Konti lang? Okay.
Diba?
Gamay lang?
Gamay lang.
Gamay
Yeah,
lang
gamay is
the
more
Bisaya
Bisaya,
version?
yeah.
Oh.
Arr,
Oh.
yeah. But can you say tatlong hari?
Tatlong Hari. And I knew when you said that, it's three kings. I knew that.
Yeah.
I knew.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I knew.
No
I,
need to translate.
I took like a one-on-one Filipino lesson thing with a tutor. Like very, just for, like,
How many classes?
not many. But Hari was one of the words.
Hari, yeah.
So I knew it means king.
Yeah, so it could also be hari, hari, hari.
That sounds hard. Hari, hari, hari. It sounds like
Hari,
hurry.
hari, hari.
Hari, hari, hari.
Yeah, king, king, king.
King, king, king.
There's a song kasi that's popular here. It's called Aring King, King, King.
And you know what I realized? As we were saying that, it took me to the last king to realize that was a joke about Tatlang Hari.
Right. Melchor,
I was a
Gaspar,
bit-
and Baltasar.
I'm a little bit to hand with the jokes
Yeah,
right now.
yeah.
I'll get there.
Because you've been tricked into believing certain words mean certain things, and then years later you find out your barkada is just making fun of you.
Yeah, the funny thing is we're talking about this right now and nobody would know the background of what you just said.
Right.
But that's good because if they knew, I feel like it could be...
Yeah, Pinoys do that a lot. Like, if you're close to somebody, you'll trick them into thinking like pangit is beautiful. You know what I mean? Like, ang pangit mo, you're so beautiful, or you're so handsome.
I'm being very tame right now too because I'd like to just kick off and tell you some of the bad, dirty things that I was taught that I thought were nice.
You can say it
But-
here.
Really?
We will just put an E rating, but you have just been sworn in as a Filipino. So is this how we want to begin? But usually it is lesson 1.
Yeah, totally.
That's what Filipinos like to teach. I have another lesson 1.
Okay, go.
Let's see if you know it already. Dun. Just use your lips. Dun.
Oh, this one like don? Like that?
And then if it's farther, just go use your whole body. Dun.
Like this. And what if do you put the thing in
No,
with the
no, no,
hand?
you have
no
to-
hand gestures?
You have to bite your
Just straight up,
finger.
like- what? Ano yan?
Because the nuno might get you.
The momo?
The nuno. The nuno.
Ano yan?
The elementals.
Oh, like the spirits and stuff. What about you?
Depends. In other countries, I know a jinn is something that you have to respect in the forest. Like you can't just pee anywhere.
I can just throw in a tabi po though, right? And it's all
Tabi po,
good.
yeah.
So I'll be like, doon, tabi po. And then nobody's going to mess with me, right?
Yeah, just use your lips. You're fine.
Yeah.
Don't use your hands.
Okay, so if I use my hands, we're going to have a problem.
You have to bite. You don't know that?
No, what is this?
No one taught you.
No, I'm going to, you know what?
Ah.
Explain. So wait, I'm just going to bite my finger? Is that what, oh,
If you point in the forest or wherever
Yeah.
you are, I know you ride your scooter everywhere, and then someone asks where, and then you use your hand by some accident, you can take it back by biting your finger.
what?
That undoes any problems.
I was under the idea that using your hand would mean it's like super far.
No, use your body. You do.
Okay, so just the
and
whole,
make it
like-
longer. Do.
Okay, so somebody's like, hey, saan ka mapunta? Dude.
Right,
Okay.
right. Yeah, I've taught this to all the foreigners I've worked with. Surprisingly, a lot of them naman, they sing to me anak. Have you learned that by Freddie Aguilar?
Yeah, I've heard it. Yeah, of course.
Yeah, so even if I'm in Singapore or wherever, somehow they know that song.
I'm gonna just quickly touch you because I'm gonna do this. Ready? Do you know
Okay.
this one?
Oy. What's that?
Oh my gosh, you don't know? Maybe it's
getting back at me.
maybe it's Bisaya. So what happened is,
Pick.
so when I went to Secure a long time ago,
Uh-huh.
2014, before I went, some of my Bisaya buddies were like, make sure if somebody comes up to you and does this,
You give it back.
yeah, you have, yeah, you know, okay, you know, it's like a curse.
Pick.
It's like you've been cursed, and like if you don't give it back or you don't pass it around, yeah,
No,
Diba?
I think
You knew it deep inside.
no,
so you knew- What?
no. Your pronunciation.
What is it like Vastos or what?
Yeah.
What is it?
Means
What? Actually?
It's
I thought it was like
because if
what? Since what? Really? Man, how like what's the term for it? I'm not like am I that innocent? I didn't know that was a
I think they give you a variation of a word
Yeah.
and then they know that you have an accent and that you will mispronounce it and then you're on your own.
I'm worried about this conversation because I feel like we're gonna go really too deep into this talk that I'm trying to hold back here. I'm trying to hold back, like, because I thought
Feel free.
because I thought it was
Oh,
No?
that's a different
a
thing
different.
altogether.
Okay.
That would be a yeah.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Again, this is not a good start, Karylle. We're supposed to be talking about fun, happy, positive things in the Philippines, not okay.
There's nothing wrong about body parts and
No, I mean I'm not.
I mean as
no,
a
not at all.
non-judgmental person.
And I'm the kind of person who's all about just understanding education. So if we all learn and understand what's good and what's bad and what to
Right.
respect and what not, what to watch out for.
Right.
Now I'm just learning. I need to.
Okay, I'll teach you one that's safe. Puk. That
Puk-puk.
means to like
knock or something.
knock it off with like a hammer or pinupukpuk sa kukote, which is your brain. You're making your brain remember it. Pinupukpuk.
Pinupukpuk,
It's something
okay.
that you're trying to really put in there.
So it wouldn't be a good thing for me to be like,
Puk. Pak. Wings. So, you know the consonants. In Filipino, it's a, e, I, o, u.
yeah, I got it. A-E-O-O. That's one of the. Although I suck at pronouncing things, but I learned that. Yeah,
we know that.
Yeah. Okay. Great. Even don't get in the NGs. Okay. If you get in like ngangingingongu.
Ngangengingongo.
Oh,
Yeah.
impossible.
Oh, I'll send you the script of Ramahari. That was really deep Filipino. Like,
Please don't send me it.
next level. Yeah.
Just kidding, it's
But
gonna
you did
terrify
very
me.
well when we watched Buruguduy.
Yeah, Burgadoy's story. Yeah, but you guys coached me through that. You and your Al were like, "So you're gonna do it," and then
No, you understood it. And you know the context of the jokes.
yeah, I'm getting there. You know, I'm just-
Are you sweating? You need
not yet. I'm
water?
just trying to get over the whole conversation. So it's kind of like it's not the usual way you start off like hey.
It's okay.
But I think it's kind of fun because at the end of the day, I think we talked about this earlier off podcast. How as long as you have good intentions, you're not trying to be a jerk, or it's like I didn't know.
The
huh?
vibe is there, and things are we make that kind of mistake abroad as well. And like there's a Filipino word kanina, which I cannot use, for example, in Singapore because it means something else there. And if the intonation just shifts a little bit, it means something else.
Yeah, in Bisaya we say kasabot gamay. That means like I understand a little. But if you say that in Iloilo, it means you have. So you need to be careful, okay? Anyways, this is when we transition here. Because I don't know how appropriate this conversation is going to be.
Cultural differences, I think it exists. And then for some people, it's scary because they've never encountered a foreigner in their life. Ako kasi when I was growing up, my best friend that my parents picked out for me, Paula Boone, she had the same curly hair, so my parents thought she was me. So that's our little meet cute. So I've always been around foreigners. Like they had an Italian restaurant and everything. So I'm not like daunted by the idea like I have to face a foreigner, and we're different, and we'll have funny conversations and misunderstandings, which could be funny. Then I'll learn from your culture, you'll learn from mine. But you are so next level because you are actually Filipino.
Yeah, technically now. Yeah, I'm your kabayan.
At this point, right? That's crazy.
But what's interesting too is imagine like during my life driving around the country, I've been in many situations in very rural areas where literally I've been amongst people who have never interacted with a foreigner. And because like, I'll give you an example that we just had this really funny conversation where like words mean stuff and I didn't know.
Right.
And then sometimes I wonder like that happens to me with these people who've never met a foreign national. I'm like, I wonder what they think of me. They think he's like a weird dude who's like saying weird stuff.
You're not even a foreign national. You're a Filipino.
Yeah, I'm a Filipino now though.
So let's just give a little backgrounder. You started out as somebody working in Hong Kong where you met a bunch of Filipinos.
Yeah.
Quickly, they became your barkada in this educational sector.
Yes, I used to work in outdoor ed. So like big international schools. We take the students on like cool outdoor adventure camps. And yeah, it's pretty fun.
In Hong Kong. I've only been like, I did a little hike in Tai Long Wan.
Nice. Actually, the hiking trails are really good in Hong Kong.
Good, no? And the beaches are like pristine. There's no building there. They're just people with tents. I think we went hiking on a day na it was a vacation day, like a holiday. So people were like hiking as a family. It's quite interesting.
You might be one of the few people I've met who, when we start talking about Hong Kong, you're talking about hiking trails because most people are like, "Oh, big city shopping, cool restaurants."
No, yeah, we've done all that in the 80s.
But like, not many people actually talk about Hong Kong and go straight into like, "Oh, nature."
Yeah, because we were with a friend of mine from the Kitchen Musical. So she's an actress. Her name is Rosemary Vanderbrook, I think is her last name, and she is a yoga teacher as well. So she's very much into running and everything. And she knew naman that I was running. And Yael is also quite a runner. So, but it was my first time to go on a trail that intense. And she was just so fit. And her legs were so long. We had to keep up with her. And yeah, it was quite the experience because at the end of it was a beach and we swam.
Yeah, and that's Hong Kong. For me, that was my Hong Kong. So I've been like all over with students. But what happened is working with those Filipinos, I was like, man, these people are pretty cool. Like we're working like this hardcore, like 5 a.m. in the morning to 10 p.m. at night job.
Okay.
And then, but yet they could still manage to like have fun amongst the tiredness and like crack jokes and like enjoy it. And then on the weekends, we'd be like hanging out with them and we just eat together, drink together, go for hikes together, whatever.
Hikes pa rin.
Hikes, Hong Kong. Emotional bonding through hikes. No.
Nice.
But yeah, they just like rubbed off on me their vibe, and I was like, man, these are cool people. Why have I like I'd been at that point already to Thailand, Cambodia, Laos, Vietnam, worked in Malaysia, I was in India, all over.
How many countries in total?
29, and then ran like all over Southeast Asia. But I was like, ooh, that country, the Philippines, that strange floating place in the ocean. But because I met those Filipinos in Hong Kong, I was like, I think it would be cool to visit.
Around how many were they?
Oh, probably 15 to 20. And the cool thing was, they were like some of the bigger names in the outdoor industry.
Okay.
Meaning like president of the Caving Federation. So Spelunking. So if you see a cave, you're like, what's in there? He could go in and map it and like figure out where the caverns go and then tell you what's safe and what's not safe.
Really? Wow.
Like guys who like trained with like the first Everest expedition team that was Filipino.
Yes, I have a friend who's part of that. Noelle Wenceslao.
Very cool.
Yes, she was my high school classmate.
So some of my work colleagues were part of helping train that team back in our involved with, like, I think they went to like Cebu Island.
Dr. Valdez? No.
I can't remember all the names, but I just know there's one guy as well, Pastor Imata. His name's Pastor Imata. He's from Tagum, but he was actually one of the summiters in the first one. I think it's 2007 or something, but
I can't remember. But my friend was part of the Kaya ng Pinay, the 3 Filipinas. They're the first 3 women in the world to traverse Mount Everest.
Pretty impressive.
super impressive.
So-
like you could die there and get just like left there as ice.
I love hiking, but
That
it's not hiking. It's like super intense mountaineering. So
yeah.
I'm pretty impressed people can do that. But I was working with these people and they're all outdoorsy. And so what happened is when I first came to visit too, not only did I get kind of inspired by their vibe here, but they also kind of took me around to more like provincial areas because they're used to being in the outdoors, right?
Okay.
So I kind of like started to get a pretty local vibe and like get local experiences like going whitewater rafting, going out like mountain trekking. And
The whitewater rafting, I can never imagine myself on.
Have you not done
on
it?
Never.
Really?
Is it safe?
Back it.
I don't think it's safe.
Hey, you're okay. It's good. I know the guys who created it. You're good.
Yun na
I
nga eh.
promise.
How is it safe? Tell me, how is it safe?
Okay, because basically all the gear and they even bring in like they had like proper international training and certification.
I never knew.
I can even show you pictures. I know the trainer even came over from the States, another one came from Britain, and like they're training those guys in the river. So it's good. Yeah, Kegi and Dior. You can go rafting anytime. Let me know. My Manong runs the company.
Really?
Yeah, totally.
Your manong?
Yeah, Manong, yeah. He was just my work colleague before, but then he became my Manong. So
I'm so scared. But yeah, okay. I am all for the anyong tubig.
ano yan?
Anyong tubig.
Ano anyong? On the water?
Anyo is like kinds of water, like
I didn't know that word. Anyo?
anyong tubig.
To refer to like kinds of things.
Yeah, waterfalls, lakes, rivers.
So it could be like anyo and anything. Anyo.
Anyong. It's
Anyong.
like shape or form. Something like that.
I'm trying
Yeah.
to think how I can use that.
There was this show back in the day. So I was part of this show called Encantadia, and my role was the keeper of the water gem. So tagapangalaga ng brilyante ng tubig. So I kind of still want to make it
You'll
a
fit right in on the river then.
I
You can like
know,
guardian
I
of the
shouldn't be
water
afraid,
gems. You should be, yeah, you're
right?
good.
Yeah.
I thought you're like jump in the water and like swim under a rock and pop out with like some, you know.
I've only been to Daranak Falls, really. Like I really swam there, and
That's in Rizal, right? Tanay.
yeah,
I've
and
been-
or Antipolo.
I think the direct it's in Tanay. I think.
I think I trust you more than me.
I think yeah, because I've been there. I know.
Because yeah, Antipolo would be the
But it's like nearby.
Hinulugang tak tak tak.
Is it tonight?
Yeah, you're right.
We got it. Okay.
Up here.
Cool. Up here. I
I'll
like how
trust-
you.
I'll
Thanks for
trust you.
supporting
Yeah,
it. The
yeah.
appears. That's like the third appear I've had from you today. That's super. I love how you're into appear. I think that's like the simplest positive gesture.
Correct.
Like, and people undervalue.
I know.
Simple positive
I
gestures.
love how
so.
in the NBA there is a compilation of videos of people na hindi nasalo yung appear. Yung kunwari, you're like,
You know what? The hardest thing for me was during pandemic. It became so freaking awkward because I'd be like, let's appear, and then it's like, we can't touch each other.
like
It's like,
air
oh
appear.
no! And then they start doing fist bumps, and even now to this day, hey,
Even Finn can do an appear.
Try.
Show,
Let's
show,
see.
show, show.
Go.
Ready? Give me 5.
oh my gosh!
Girl, see? Positive.
I've been having like an issue the past 6 months where because of the pandemic, I shifted to fist bumps, and now what happens? I want to appear, but then sometimes that brain mentality is still. So I switch to this, and then they'll appear, and then what happens is like then they'll go to fist bump, and then I'll appear. So it's just this big moment of awkwardness, and I just just can't handle it. So I'm happy you just straight up appear. It's like
Yeah, or you could do
that's the
the
pusit, right? The opposite.
Pusit. Pusit?
No, the opposite, right? You're just like it's like you do this opposite. Oh.
Pusit. Like,
Like a pusit, like the squid.
pusit.
Pusit, sorry, my pronunciation.
I thought opposite. Like, yeah, pusit or sotong squid.
Or like, so in Bisaya, I mean, I'm still really slang, but they say like you got to speak hard. Like you really have to, for example, if I say like tuba, you have to say tuba.
Tuba.
Like how about in Filipino? Like should I be speaking hard or should it be like, I just felt a bit like gangster.
I have a friend, he's like the king of R&B. His name's
Just have a
JR.
random friend who's like the king of R&B.
His name is
Go on.
JR.
Okay.
And he sounds like he's always mad. That's his Filipino, but he's from LA.
Is that like a usual thing or like?
I think they're trying to pronounce it hard, as you're saying, just so that to get the accent right, but then it just comes off angry. Like, who are you fighting?
You should just give me like a lesson on how to say a word right now or something in Filipino. Like, how should I pronounce it? Pick any
Hoy,
word.
pangit.
Are you calling me ugly? No, just joking.
No, because that would be like hard.
But that's
like
NG. How about a non-NG word?
magandang.
Magandang?
You want like with an NG?
Sure, you're my tutor. Let's go. Give me this is going to be
Magandang-
immortalized in podcast world.
Magandang araw.
how should I say that? Like, should I say magandang araw? Should I go magandang araw?
But no
Or-
one says magandang araw, no?
That's true, hey? It's like, did you see that comedian who said Mabuhay? And they're like, nobody in our conversations, when
Say
do we
that.
actually say Mabuhay?
Maybe if you're joining a contest na, Mabuhay!
Yeah, but like in a casual conversation, I was
No,
like,
it
hey,
doesn't
like Karylle,
happen.
like, I'm not gonna, hey, Mabuhay, Karylle. Like,
Yeah, we'll be like,
so-
nerd!
like, wow, that dude's weird.
Maybe kamusta? Kamusta?
Kamusta?
Kamusta?
What's your favorite words? Do you have like a favorite word? I know
Oh,
it's
like a tough one?
or just anything, yeah.
Kumukuti-kutitap.
Ano yan?
Kuti. Kumukuti.
Kumukuti,
Kutitap.
kutitap.
Perfect.
Kumukuti,
Kutitap.
ano meaning?
It's a Christmas song. Kumukuti-kutitap.
No way.
You're almost there.
Kumukuti,
Kutitap.
kutitap. Kumukuti, kutitap.
You got it!
I'm gonna look at the song. Is it a nice? Is it
It's Ryan
number 4?
Kayab-Yab.
I'm gonna go for 10 appears. You got 6 more to have before the end of this conversation.
Aso.
Sino mang artist?
Ryan Kayab-Yab again,
Is it
the
on
national
Spotify? Like-
artist for music. Yeah. It's a Christmas song that he wrote.
You know so many cool people. Eh? You're just like, yeah, my casual friend is King R&B. Oh, just a friend of mine is like the national artist or
for
whatever.
music.
Like,
Mr.
I'll
Kayab-Yab.
be
Yeah.
like, yeah, I know Whitewater After. Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
It is cool,
no,
though. I agree.
You know, I do remember you talked about it before because I am terrified of extreme sports. But when you talked about it, na it's safe and they actually study it, I was like, okay.
Actually, I think too, a lot of people, you know, because there's so much media and stuff nowadays, like it's so easy to be like in fear of things, like whatever, you know, like maybe even somebody be like, don't run marathons, your knees will be bad, you know. It's like, so you're like, oh, I'm not going to run marathons, but you know, things are actually a lot happier and safer than I think the world makes them out to be. So
Yeah,
like,
no?
you know, you shouldn't like hold yourself
Oh
back.
gosh, our
because-
next episode is about overcoming fear of extreme sports.
Oh, there you
We
go.
just did one about like overcoming solo travel.
And what you need to do is when to open it, you know, your cold opening is you're going to jump out of a plane skydiving. Hey guys, we're doing a podcast out of this, overcoming fear. And then you're going to fly into the couch and then...
No. She says no.
Oh, I thought you were saying no to me. I was like, okay, just
No.
bad idea, Kulas.
She doesn't want to lose me. It's safe, Finn.
You know, I'm curious, girl, actually. What's like a regular week for you? Dude,
Now I've been doing a lot of radio work and then podcasting
Okay.
is doing actually pretty well. Thank you to all our listeners. Woohoo, we
Nice
love
one.
you.
yay. Let's do like, hooray.
We've been doing showtime as well. And then 4 to 10 p.m. is when I rehearse for the play. The script's right there if you want to rehearse
it?
with me.
Is it in Tagalog?
No, English.
Oh, good. Okay, maybe we
Yeah,
can.
yeah. So it's Little Shop
Maybe in
of
a bit.
Horrors.
If you
yeah.
want to, I mean, if you want to.
Yeah.
I don't want to like overshadow you with my amazing
Yeah,
play
there are
acting
some-
abilities.
There are
but
some like difficult lines like what was one? Delphiniums, geraniums, like all the flowers that I have to
do
memorize.
you get angry at them or what?
No,
Like,
naman, just
oh,
like
you sounded really angry. Like I don't like flowers.
just trying to memorize it. So I guess
Is
I'm
there like a song? Do you have to like say them in a
Yeah.
song? Like
No, no, no,
geraniums,
no.
daffodils, tulips, roses, la 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 la.
None.
No?
We can make one. Sampaguita gumamela.
Oh, like the Philippine. I think Sampaguita's national one flower, right?
Yeah.
No.
I
How
hope
many-
so.
Like, I can say bulaklak. I can be like
Bulaklak.
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 Magandang araw, bulaklak.
No, it has to be bulaklak.
Man, I think people are gonna judge me looking at me
No,
now.
it's
That's
fine.
like
You're trying,
trying my
and you know,
best,
it's not like I can't understand what you're saying, but I'm just so used to like being with another like foreigner. Well, you're not a foreigner, but Ryan Bang. So sometimes
Mm-hmm.
I help him, and he says, like, how do you say this properly? So
Mm-hmm.
bulaklak.
you know. Actually, that's been one unique thing for me. Is the past like 11 years, I just know naturally I'm just slang. That's just how I talk. I don't. So I struggle.
You're actually better than a lot of Filipinos.
But I struggle with like pronouncing many things. So sometimes when
Mm-hmm.
I'm vlogging or making videos, like I show myself too failing in my pronunciation. I still put it up there.
That's
But people will
fine.
comment, they'll be like, "Man, if you're really Filipino, you should speak it this way." I'm like, "I'm trying."
you're
Please."
trying.
Like,
Yeah.
I
It's
think that's
fine.
what matters. You just try your best. It's
Yeah, I mean, you're learning, and then I think what I've learned just being around you is that you know more about the Philippines than I do. You know more dialects and languages than I do. So I'm trying to level up
Yeah, but
being around you.
We talked about this before off cam too, though. You definitely know so much more about like the theater world, the play world, the music world.
But yeah, I wish I had more time, you know, like just really getting to know actual families when I travel. Because I get to do that when I'm in other countries, but in the Philippines, I guess I don't get to really immerse myself in other people's lives. I mean, strangers' lives, which is something that you get to do easily.
I think probably though, because you're doing things that like you need to really like dedicate your 4 p.m. to 10 p.m. to practice and rehearse, right? Whereas I know I'm very fortunate in the sense where it's just I free flow, right? And you know, I think that there's also sacrifices to doing that. Whereas, you know, maybe that's why I'm not married yet, or that I'm getting married next month. But you know, so I mean, I've had to like, you know, I think we have a clap, hooray. But so I get it, you know, I've had the opportunity to have all this extra time,
right?
Where I just dedicate my time to one thing, which is adventuring around and immersing. Whereas, I mean, if I was to do a project like a theater project, you need to be like doing that every day, practicing,
right?
And I wouldn't then be able to go and do what I do now, right? So you just have your world, I have my world, and you know, we can always intertwine and learn about each other's world.
From each other. Yeah.
Exactly.
So you've actually lived with a whole community or a family of 20.
Yeah, 23 in the compound.
I wanted to say community, but it's really just a family.
Yeah,
no?
It definitely felt like a community when I first like moved in. Like a traditional Filipino compound was the first place I stayed, probably for about 3 years.
That's a lot of people.
Yeah, I mean,
23?
and you open the gate. Like, this isn't like downtown Cagayan de Oro. Literally, like Ayala Mall is just a few blocks away. And then there's like apartment buildings now, but then there's like the green gate, and you open it, and there's just like a few little houses, and there's Tita's place, Manong, and then the Tita's upstairs. And I kid you not, probably the first 5 years, I still didn't even know everybody's first name because I just knew them as Tita, Tito, Manong, Manang. Like I didn't want to say that because they'd be like, "Kulas, you didn't know my name." Like I know their names now, but really, I didn't. Like I'd see them.
It's embarrassing to ask.
Yeah, so I just never did. So they were just, that was my Manang, or that was like my ate upstairs, or that was the, so.
And that family called you Kulas.
Yeah, so basically 2014, it's funny, like, as I'm sure you know, being in the media world, sometimes people will like assume, oh, did he like give himself a stage name, or did he call himself Kulas, or actually I was just like sitting literally on a couch like this in a house in the compound, and my Manong, who wasn't yet my Manong at the time, but he walked in and he just looked at me. This is 2014. He's like, Kulas. And I was like, what is going on? And then my barkada were like, Kulas. I'm like, what the heck?
Fits,
and then it just spread, and then went to my barkada, then social media. And then the funny thing is though, I genuinely feel so much like a Kulas now that I find it a little bit socially awkward when people introduce me as Kyle, which is weird. Like I think the only person who calls me Kyle is like my fiance, my mom. I don't know if you've called me Kyle. I don't know. I think you were calling me Kulas when I met you. I don't.
Kyle
I feel like it's
Kulas.
not.
Yeah.
It's like
it's a kinkoy name. You know the word kinkoy. Like it's like a happy person's name.
I
Like
think
someone who's like a joker also.
Yeah, they told me it's like a little bit like mischievous in a positive way.
Correct. Yeah.
You know, very happy-go-lucky, roams around.
Yeah.
But it's been really cool because talking of pronunciation. Before, I'd be like, Pasyal, di Joseph Filipinas, maraming tao, like, oh, ano pangalan mo? I'd be like, Kyle. Like, Karo? Kayo? Like, medyo mahirap. Pero ngayon, like, ano pangalan mo? Kulas. Oh, Kulas. Nice. Madali. Like, Kulas, what's up? It's really been a blessing in that regard. People don't like socially awkward to be like, what's his name? They're like, oh, it's Kulas. There he goes, you know? So.
But they didn't give you a complicated name. It's actually a friendly name.
Even there was an old guy at a hot spring back in like 2015, and he just looked at me. He's like, "What's your name?" I'm like, Kulas. And he's like, Saluk. It's like Saluk, you know, baliktad Kulas. He's like, "I'm gonna call you Saluk, because then if you ever hear that again, you'll know who it is." I was like, "Oh my gosh, okay." I think Filipinos just love to have fun with names, diba? Like, how about you? Like your Karylle, but like people call you...
My nickname is K.
Okay.
Kulot sometimes.
Kulot.
Yeah, but when I was growing up, it was Bachukoy, Bachukekoy.
See how many names you have? Like that's where every Filipino has like 10 names secretly.
My mom calls me Baji, Waji, Bajuki, Bubblegum, which is long.
That's a pretty cool name.
Pretty long, right? Yeah, it was from the Bajuka Bubblegum.
Nice. I was gonna say though too, I think that probably, if I think off the top of my head, I don't have a single Filipino friend who doesn't have a nickname. I swear, like I bet you every Filipino in this room right now too. Like, put your hand up if you have a nickname. I bet you. There you go. You know, even my fiance, I introduced her as Therene.
Yeah.
The reason she's Therene is because when she was working, I think before with ABS or something, there was like 3 Catherines.
Oh, okay.
So too awkward, right? So that's just Therene. Diba? So
You are not a cat.
yeah, you're not a Catherine anymore. You're Therene.
No cat. Just no
cat.
no meow meow.
But I also think, like, for me, I look at it and I'm like, intrinsically, that just shows, I think, that like Filipinos are happy to have fun with themselves, you know? And I think that's like a nice, happy thing. The reason they have nicknames, you know, it's kind of like a fun, happy, unique thing in life, kind of quirky. And I think that just shows like the mentality of people, which is good.
We love to give our nicknames. My lolo calls me Da, which just shows that I'm not his favorite. Because the other one is Rock. And the other one is Manoko. And, you know, he loves his chickens.
Okay. So you're like, I don't know.
I got Da.
You got Da.
But I think it's maybe Darling. I'm trying to think of why kaya
Maybe
Da?
it's the best. Maybe, you know, diba? Diba? That's the 5th appear. We got 5 more to go. We already talked about this. That was worthy of an appear. That might be the first. That might be the first good joke I've ever said.
I love you, Lolo. Maybe I'm the favorite.
Maybe the favorite. Yeah, we can. Let us know in the comments.
Yeah, if you see him in Vegas,
there you go.
Ask my Lolo. Oh my God. So wait, you mentioned your fiance, Catherine.
Yes.
So she's with us and she has a social enterprise.
She does, yeah.
Is this from it? No.
Actually, this weave here is. So she made these shirts, but they make like, so this year, this is their local weave. Now, what's interesting is her hometown is a small town called Maragondon.
Maragondon.
So you pronounced it way better than me.
No, but they'll remember it. That's okay.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's just south in Cavite.
Okay.
So if you were to drive like from Cavtex, from Pasay Cavtex, maybe if there's no traffic, hour and a half. If there's traffic, 2 hours something. But basically, back maybe 4 or 5 years ago, they found out there's still 2 elderly ladies who were weaving, like traditional weaving.
Okay.
But it was kind of like dying out. Nobody was really. So she started working with the community to kind of develop the weaving into different products. And
so
also,
you're teaching other
now
new weavers.
New weavers. I think there's 7, no? How many weavers are there? 8 weavers. 10 more. And they even have like, I think you have like other machines and things coming in. And
wow. But
so,
this is traditional.
Yes.
And they are preserving the long time tradition.
yeah, I mean, you look at the machine, like it's like they have like a wooden thing with the feet and the hands.
You're next.
I mean, there's pictures.
After
I'll send
the
you
wedding,
pictures.
you're
You
going
can
to have
pop
to
them
do
up
the
on
training.
Actually, I don't know. It's very tedious, but
It's hard. But what's it called? On Facebook.
Likhang Maragondon. So I think that refers to made in Maragondon.
Yeah.
She's
Likhang
wearing earrings.
Maragondon.
Get the earrings out. She has like little earrings and.
We'll get the shot. Wait, hold on.
Oh wow. Oh yeah. Hey.
Therene.
Show the earrings.
And the bag. Please show the bag.
And what's this for a laptop? But they have tons of
the
stuff. Like we just don't have much
bag.
stuff with us right now. But
I'm telling you, we should sell it. It was one day on TikTok. We'll just sell all of it.
What's this? I think too, it's like a working student who put the earrings together. So it's not just like the local older weavers, but also she like the working students in her town. There's like other people, craftsmen, bamboo. They also do bamboo products.
Wow. Okay.
I think they're working even on like making bamboo paneling, and they're doing stuff with like DUST and science.
Love it.
Pretty cool.
Wow. I'm just curious though. Like, I am so pressured that I have to be a better Filipino around Kulas. Is that why you started this social enterprise, or was it always a dream of yours?
But I've always been very purpose-driven in everything that I do. And coming from a lower middle-class family, I used to be a breadwinner. So I was able to graduate because a lot of people helped me. So parang now, I'm just trying to pay it forward. So that's what I'm doing in Cavite.
Nice. Well, that's why you guys are bagay.
Even like, I'll give you an example. They do like some bamboo weaving stuff, but the bamboo weavers, the ones who are doing it, their livelihood before was just to make barbecue sticks. But they'd only make like 100 pesos a day making barbecue sticks, right?
And now they're
so she's like, hey, do you guys want to learn about like bamboo weaving and applying that? And they are able to earn more. And also everything's crafted by locals in their hometown.
Correct.
So
and I think it just gives the town the identity it's always had, diba? Because
It's
now
really-
they're doing something creative together. And then they're going to create even more things on top of the traditional weaving.
Yeah, it's like,
so
what's like the creative
beautiful.
industry? You're in that. Like, even when it
Right,
comes to plays or
yeah.
arts or music,
Yeah. And then
the
it
more
grows. And then the whole community will be part of it. Yeah, we'll do a selling day.
you do it. You got to teach me about
After the wedding, yeah. We'll do like a live selling, yeah.
I'm game. Actually, you know what's funny?
You guys are gonna make so much money.
She tried doing like one on her own once on Facebook, and I was like, I watched it, like commented on it. It was really, but we need to learn the ways of live selling. Please help us.
I've never really done a live selling. I've seen people do it, but I can imagine we can do it.
I think we do it.
With Yael,
Teamwork?
like singing and like playing the guitar
Well,
once
you
in a
heard
while.
too. I can sing about flowers and like
Right?
tulips, black, daffodils, and
What was the other one?
my gosh.
Sampagita.
sambagita.
Makahiya.
It was so funny. I was like, just speaking of music and stuff. After I met you guys last month,
Yeah, so we met during the play. That was it. And then we had breakfast the next morning. And you and Yael were so daldal.
and
I hirap. Hirap ako.
I genuinely like, so after that awesome like chica with you guys at breakfast, I was like, I really want to research them more. So I literally started like listening on Spotify
Sponge
and stuff,
Cola.
and I became a fan.
Thank you.
It's really great. Like, and I literally know a lot of your songs now. But you want to hear something funny? Because speaking of language, I think there's that song by Yael and Sponge Cola. It's like Laman Pagan.
Laman ng panaginip.
Dreams, yeah. So I remember the chorus, like nagigising.
Sa kalaliman ng gabi.
And to me, because I couldn't actually understand the rest of the song, so I thought, like, I was telling Therene, I was like, oh, I listened to that song quite a lot when we were in Palawan, and it's so dope because it's like, I wake up in the middle of the night and you're like part of my dreams. But then she's like, actually, the song's like
About your ex.
your ex. And I was like, oh well, there you go. So for me, it was like, this sounds really beautiful and
I
happy.
think you're stuck on the idea that you are part of my dreams.
Yeah, so that's all because that's
you
all I
didn't
can
know
understand.
naman the verses.
No, just the
So
chorus.
it's safe.
So for me, I just was like, oh, this is a very positive, beautiful song. Thinking, I was like, reminded me of thinking about my fiance in the middle of the night. She's amazing. But
Since you didn't sing the rest of the song, you're fine.
okay, good to know. And then, of course, listen to your Promises song.
Right,
I like it.
yeah.
I listen to it running. I swear.
It's
like
based
emo and good.
on our actual wedding march. During our wedding, Armo, the guitarist of Sponge Cola, we just asked him to do whatever. And I think he just made like what he likes to call a wall of sound
Cool.
as we marched, or as I marched. And that was it. Because usually we just tell our suppliers, like, we just want this, bahala ka na. We never would give like a peg or anything. Like, go with what's in your heart kind of thing. Which was confusing to most.
You know, what's also kind of blows my mind a bit is that even though I couldn't understand like your singing if it was in Tagalog, like pure, I still can appreciate it. And I think that's something like as foreign nationals, even if you can't understand Tagalog or Bisaya or whatever, the music here, like you can just tell when people are really passionate
Like,
about it, when there's like
emotional,
love and heart into it. So it's like I can listen to his music now and your music like together, and it's like it makes me emo, even though I have no clue what you're saying. It's like literally.
We should put a translation, yeah.
So I was, even though I was even like Instagram and once or twice, I was like, man, it's really cool. What does this mean? Like,
Yeah, actually, we should do a concert, like a music festival abroad. Like I would imagine Canada. It's like a hybrid kind of an event. I think Tita Stella can mount it, where it's singing, there's eating, there's a motivational speech, and I think people just generally like to hang out with you, right? That's what happens. I think this is like the new kind of a festival.
I hope so.
Right?
I'd hope people like to hang out. I'd be like, oh, here's Kulas. We don't want to be here anymore. Like, oh no. No, but even like actually a lot of the music too is the kind of stuff I realized an international audience, even if they're not Filipino. I mean, there's even songs that are in English, like Hometown, like you are na 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 na. Anyway, whatever.
Yeah, actually, it has a lot of songs that are very sporty, like sport.
How about yourself though? Like, do you have your own albums? Because now I'm going to research you next.
Okay.
Like, go through your albums. Are they on Spotify too?
Yes,
Okay, good. That's my next.
including K's drama.
Oh, is this? Oh, yeah, this is a podcast. Oh, it's on Spotify.
It's on Spotify.
Oh my gosh, Mom, Dad, I'm on Spotify. Is it a high five? Can we high five? Yes.
It's
Yes,
on
high five over
Spotify,
here.
Apple Podcasts.
Cool. Even the
It's on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and YouTube. YouTube.
But this wasn't something like you're always into like singing and acting.
Yeah.
But like you just started doing radio. But
Right.
I know
This is
you,
really Tita Stella's fault. Thank you, Tita Stella.
But I really know like you've been hosting on Showtime for a long time, right?
Yeah, but the podcast was like never like in my radar.
I like how it's almost like a not as extreme interview though. It's like we can just casually talk and the dog can look at me and
Don't worry, no one's gonna make you cry here.
you sure?
So you know how like interviews lately are like.
Should we try? You want to just get emo?
Okay.
I can cry. I'm a crier sometimes. I have no like yeah. You know what? Like I really am an emotional
No
dude.
crying.
Yeah. You just have to if you just talk about something really emo, I'll get into it. I have like a lot of deep down emotions.
Really?
And that's why I think I like to write. Like I write a ton on Facebook. Like kind of sometimes really like deep emo stuff. And I even like cry when I'm writing. And before I even post it, like I'm already like teared up and emo. Like I even wrote like if you look back, there's like a post about like how the country made me really comfortable with death. Because of the, there's just a whole bit backstory too. But I remember when I was writing that post, I was like, teary eyed. So, but
I don't want to make you cry.
Should we
No.
cry? Are you talking about something sad?
Like clickbaity.
Clickbaity crying. Should we just do one of those things where you like look at the camera and make like a fake thumbnail? Oh my gosh, Karylle changed my life. Oh my god, I'm so emotionally shocked. This was life changing.
It's funny because I've had so much cuento time with you in the short amount of time that I've known you. Like we had a meal with Kurt. Then there was today, there was that breakfast, and just in between the play.
And do
that's
you remember we talked about speed talking? It's like when you meet somebody, but you have a limited time, or you don't know much about the person,
right? And you try to get as much,
but you can't really give them a full perspective, but you have to give them something. So you're just like, okay, this is what I like to do. Like, I think at one point in the theater, I was just like, hey, sorry for speed talking. Like, sorry, I'm just gonna tell you a few things, but I can't really explain myself. Like,
but the idea that you live in Mindanao, like in the very edge of the Philippines, is crazy to me. Like, you're there.
Yeah, it's not the
in the border. Like, it's the border. I mean,
pretty south. Pretty south. It's far away. Like it's probably longer. It's almost the same time to fly from Manila. Let's say you're gonna go to General Santos. It's like Manila to Gen San is probably the same as like Manila to Hong Kong. I think maybe it is like an hour and a half, right? How long does it go to Hong Kong? 2 hours?
Oh, I don't know.
But like it's pretty far. I mean, the Philippines is actually bigger than you think
2 hours,
too.
Yeah.
Like, and imagine too. I think there's 27 million people down there. There's a lot of people. I'm not like alone down there, But
I do remember that one cuento you said when the delivery of an electric fan is so fast. You said, "Oh, how nice naman your electric fan." You said it to the tindera.
Stuff and like
online, and it arrives quickly, right?
I guess so. That was like I think we were talking about like TikTok shop or something. It was like I heard like some locals talk about how fast it was, but it's really random. But do you use? Speaking of this, it's totally jumping ship here. But have you ever used TikTok shop? I've never even used it. But locals are telling me it's like the fastest way to get stuff. So, by the way, this segment is sponsored by TikTok.
They pay us.
Life-changing TikTok conversations with Karylle. Are you on TikTok?
I am. Karylle use on. I'm usually in my pajamas when I do a TikTok video because that's the time when I'm not thinking.
I claimed my name, Becoming Filipino, and then I don't have it. But I think I should. I don't know.
You need to be there.
Can you dance?
I don't think do
you have
want
to
dance?
Like, do you have to?
No, you could do like little speeches or whatever. Or you could lip sync, dub.
What's your go-to like TikTok? Like, when are you like, I'm going to do a TikTok? Or is there a go-to or is it all different?
I try to dance, but not really. Or if there's a filter where you're just like doing all those faces.
Okay.
It can be.
You can ask my fiance. I'm a pretty good dancer. So
wow.
Like I'm a pretty good bad dancer. Like I do like squid, like octopus arms and stuff. And like I think that's how I like seduce. Like, hey Therene, what's up? Look at me. No, okay.
But you can do that, you can do that. You can make your own trend.
That was really awkward, by the way. But I just did that.
You just really wanted to show it.
Seduce my fiance by doing octopus arms. Made no sense.
Sotong.
Next conversation.
What was the first one? Pak.
Pick. No, wait, is it pick? No. Oh my gosh, what's going on?
And going.
But have you ever been down south? Like you've been down to Mindanao at all? Have you been like an event in? Yeah, don't worry, man. You can just bleep it out in the sound thing. We're good. We're good. Have you been down? Like
I've been to Surigao
cool.
a bunch of times. Well, twice, I think.
Didn't you tell me you went to like Tacurong once or something? Like the middle of Central Mindanao, an event or something?
I've been to. Wait, I'm trying to remember. Of course, I've been to Davao quite a bunch of times. I've been to. Wait, there's one that my best friend says a lot because she had never heard of the place, and I said, "Oh, I'm here right now." Wait, what's the place?
Cagayan de Oro, Dipolo.
No, I've been to Cagayan de Oro. Okay. Yes, after the big calamity.
Okay,
was it a
Sendong,
bagyo?
maybe Typhoon Sendong, I think.
Yeah,
2012.
I think it was because of all the illegal logging. Was it?
Okay. I'm not sure, but
because they were talking about it back then, and maybe we should know.
Yeah, well, that's a tough subject. That's. But you've been down there. Like, would you go for like
I've been to CDO. I was there after the calamity, and I do remember talking about the tent cities because they had to evacuate there, and how a lot of the men were having a hard time expressing themselves.
Thanks for coming down though to like support.
Yeah, I was quite curious.
Time.
I don't know why I went there, but sometimes parang it calls you,
yeah,
and you're there
100%.
for a mall show or whatever. But then you're like, oh, so what happened? So they were just explaining to me that they were having a harder time helping the men because they couldn't express their trauma.
Yeah,
because it is traumatic when
Absolutely.
you go through a calamity like that. So that was the discussion back then. But I guess now people are getting to be more vocal about it, especially because people aren't so afraid of talking about that.
One thing though, I'd definitely say like about Mindanao and possibly with your life is like, from my experiences going around and living down there, there's definitely, I think for example, I mentioned this to you before, I think 66% of all like Indigenous people are Mindanao.
Oh, yeah.
You know, and like if you look at the weaves and the other like the dance and there's just the music, there's this different vibe that I'm sure like somebody like yourself who's into like music and plays, like I'm sure you get a lot of inspiration from like the people down there and
It will
that
be
kind
nice
of thing.
not to see all the performances also, especially because a lot of them, they love to perform when it's, a group like students. Diba? That would be nice to experience also.
There's one like, you should look up this one called Pangalay.
Pangalay.
So, Pangalay. It's like down like the Tausugs or like dance as if like they're one with the ocean. It's really interesting. I've done it before. It's like you just kind of move your body like the ocean.
So do you just randomly like jump in and dance with them, or
this
how
is
does
the
it
cool
work?
thing. I think what tends to happen is maybe I'll be like somewhere and there'll be like something going on. So maybe there's an activity or fiesta.
What's the activity?
Or let's say in this case, because the Tausugs would be like a Muslim area, so it wouldn't be a fiesta. Maybe like a festival, or maybe an event like a wedding or something. And then some people will be performing. And then what tends to happen is they're like, "Oh, look, this Kulas guy's here."
You're not invited.
Well, no, like sometimes I'm invited. Sometimes I'm just like driving by my motor, like that looks cool. They're like, "Wow, there's a random dude on his motor. Come join us and check this out." And I find people are very open to presenting what they're doing or inviting you to want to take part in it. So
I wonder if you're just in the right place at the right time all the time.
Right?
Yeah. Maybe because you're open to it. No, it just
I think
happens.
that's what it is. Actually, a lot of people ask me, they'll send me messages, be like, "Man, how did you end up doing that thing? Or how did you try?" I'm like, I don't know. I just went around and that
by chance
there,
no?
and I realized maybe it's because I'm also aware and open to that.
Right.
It's like it's not like manifesting it. It's just being open to realizing, hey, I can go have a cool experience. So I'm going to be open to whatever looks cool. And then, well, look at those cool things. So,
and you get invited. Like when they see you, does it feel like
people
like
are
calling
very,
you in?
I'd say for the majority, like 98% of the time, people are like right away, "Yo, come join us." Maybe like there's a 2% of the time where people might be like, "Who is this dude? What's he doing?" But then it's like, then when you're like, "Hey," like,
you don't look like the enemy.
No, I hope not. I don't feel like I look like an enemy. So, how do you say the enemy in Tagalog? I'm just curious.
Kalaban.
Kalaban, isn't like fighting?
Do people call you dayo at all?
I know dayo.
Dayo is like somebody who's a foreigner or an outsider.
No, I've been called Joe. Like, "Hey, Joe."
I was gonna ask
many times. Yeah.
I was gonna ask, but I didn't want to be racist. Do you
Actually,
find that racist at all?
So no, because the way it's used is like, and I understand it comes
It's
from like the
fondly?
GI Joe, and from the Americans being here. So people are like, "Hey, Joe." It's not like
Thanks for clearing that up. I've always wanted to ask
Yeah,
somebody.
that's what I heard, is that it comes from like the Americans being here and the
And
GI
it's a
Joes.
fondness.
Yeah, and I usually, what I do though is I usually respond quickly in two ways. Either in the fun TV ad way of like, hey, Joe Romano. Supposedly there's like a Shell ad or something back in the day. I don't know.
Oh, I don't know that.
This segment is sponsored by Shell. No, but basically, there's another thing where I'll be like, oh, sino Joe? Like, pangalan ko Kulas. Ano pangalan mo, brad? Saan ka nakatira? And they'll be like, why did the Joe just say that?
Yeah, with
like,
the
like,
accent though,
just
but
like,
then good Tagalog,
yeah,
yeah.
it would just be like because for me, I'm a huge believer that we should never just generalize.
Yeah.
So I don't personally think it's good that you just call any white dude a Joe, but I understand where it comes from. I understand how it's not being said in a derogatory way, but I'm still gonna challenge it. So
Yeah. Plus, your Tagalog's so good. You're so well versed, naman. I mean,
I'm good at
and
like
that-
saying the same things. What I mean by that is like people, I'll cross paths with them and they'll ask me the same stuff. Be like, who you are, where you're from. So I'd be like, oh, nakatira dito sa Mindanao. Like, ilang tao. And I'd be like, oh, matagal, like whatever. But when it comes to like an actual conversation, like if you were just to like be like, yo, Kulas' podcast is going in Filipino now, and you start talking to me, I'll be like, oh,
should we do
like,
that?
I'd be like, go, try. I don't know, say
Try
anything.
mo nga.
Kaya mo na? Kaya.
Kaya mo naman eh.
Kaya.
Ang galing mo nga eh.
Pero dahan-dahan, minsan magdugo sa ilong.
Dugay-dugay lang.
Yeah.
Dudugo ilong mo.
Oh, dugo kaayo.
Anong
Pero-
kaayo?
Kaayo, like, oh yeah, that's Bisaya. So there you go. Like super dugo, like lots.
Like super dugo. Duguan.
Was that a good description of kaayo?
Yeah. Duguan.
Oh.
Like, yeah.
Pero I think, yeah, it's just, I wouldn't be able to have a good conversation.
I know what we can talk about in Tagalog.
Okay, go.
Food. Because we were
Sure,
talking
sure.
about how my best friend is married to an American, and one of the words that he really knows is sasawan.
Oh, sasaw. Oh, yes, sausawan.
Diba?
Wait, you said it so shallow, like sasawan.
No, that's because that's how my best friend's
Oh, okay. I was
husband
wondering,
is.
how do
Hi,
you say
Aaron.
sausawan, Karylle? Okay.
Yeah, so he likes to say sasawan. But I know you're really Pinoy because you know your sausawan.
I sure do. And
Anong paborito mong sausawan?
well, I think anything just vinegar based, suka based.
Suka. Okay,
Like,
so we're talking
oh,
about
but- pero-
pinakurat.
Can I just clarify too? Suka, as in, how do I pronounce it for vinegar
Suka.
and not vomit? Because if I say it a different way, right?
I think it's the same suka.
I don't like dipping things in vomit. It's definitely
Suka.
vinegar. So
Suka.
Suka. Pero,
Maybe with H yung suka. And then suka. Suka.
definitely vinegar though. For
I think
podcast
it's the same,
clarity.
no?
Yeah, you have to be careful because some people have called me out on this on YouTube. Like, you said vomit. I'm like, no, I said vinegar. Like, no, you pronounced it the vomit
Your
way.
sausawan is vomit.
Oh my god. But yeah, vinegar. Anything vinegar. Like, I love too when they throw in like.
No, say it in Tagalog.
Oh, I mean,
Okay.
minsan.
So anong paborito mong sausawan?
Suka, pero kasama like yung bawang, sibuyas.
May bawang, sibuyas,
Oh,
sili.
minsan, pero konti lang.
Konti lang.
Like, hindi gusto mga pawis,
ayaw mo pawis.
medyo awkward, like, kumain and then pawis, and then maybe baho, you don't want to be like, yeah, so.
So sukang pinakurat? Or what was the other one
I
you
was
were
talking
talking about?
Cinemac. That's like,
Cinnamon vinegar,
I don't even know.
yeah.
They just put in a ton of stuff. Anything vinegar. There's
Yeah.
like pineapple vinegar,
Actually,
pina vinegar.
No.
Yeah, pina vinegar.
I
Like,
didn't know.
you know, it's, like, it's good. And then
Who's
like
from here again?
Isn't there's
I
like-
get
then
so
there's like-
confused.
there's like Ilocano vinegar. I don't even know what they do with it. And then there's like vinegar, and you can mix it with toyo, or you throw in some patis, or you just like
Patis.
patis.
Yeah.
You throw in some patis. Like,
Are you a big believer in calamansi?
oh, for sure. Always,
Calamansi
yeah.
is, yeah.
Actually, are you interesting? Do you like to halo like the toyo with the suka?
Pwede.
But me too, pero minsan, like, I feel it's like, I don't know, like sayang. It's just like, I don't know. Sometimes I'm just such a vinegar person now. I feel it's like I'm like scandalizing my vinegar, like putting in toyo. Yeah. It's like a vinegar scandal.
Yeah. Ako naman sometimes I like to say, pahinging suka, yung malupit.
Do you want to hear something really crazy?
What?
I've seen people eat empanadas, dipping them not just into suka, but suka with ketchup. Yeah. Ilocanos, I've seen it.
Really?
True story.
Is it banana ketchup?
I don't
Or
know.
tomato?
I don't know.
Not that it matters.
I don't know. All I know is it's vinegar with ketchup. I swear I have photos of this. So
This is weird, sausawan.
You know what they should do though? Do they have like sausawan battles in the Philippines? You know, like,
There was a restaurant I went to before. They had a sausawan spread in a sungka.
oh, cool! That little thing you play the game or you move the things.
Right. Imagine all of that's like a different sausawan per bahay.
There should just be a sausawan museum. I just went to can we just have a sausawan museum?
Perhaps.
And you just, when you walk in, you get like 20 different things in a goodie bag that you can dip.
Yeah.
And then you can just like choose what sausawans you want as you go around the museum. So if you're feeling spicy, you're like, ooh, this is the anghang sausawan room. And then, oh, this is like the Tami sausawan room. Can we pitch
Tamis
this?
anghang, yeah.
Do you know anybody in like the museum world?
I think this should be our business. Yeah.
Maybe we should do it ourselves.
Kulas at si Tatlong Hari.
Do you have like
sausawan.
Do you have like a property somewhere? We can just build a little room. We'll just make it a sausawan museum and people can like pay an entrance. And
But also the funny thing is now, sausaw is also a negative word, meaning if there is an issue when somebody joins in and is not really part, that's called nakikisawsaw.
so they've like dipped themselves into the chismes.
Yeah, they want to be part of the chismes, but they're
drama.
not exactly part of it. Yeah.
That sounds like a lame sausawan.
I know.
I don't want to be
Might as
that.
well be
I
suka,
don't want to be. I'd rather be vinegar.
not suka.
Yeah, not vomit. That sounds like suka, the vomit one.
Right. Oh God.
By the way, I like that term chismes. Though. I think it's funny.
Chismes?
Yeah, my fiance's been. She always like tells me, she's like, I think you like the chismes, because if she'll like talk about something like very like nothing bad.
Yeah.
But then I'll always be like, oh, who said that? And she'll be like, I knew it. You like chismes, huh?
Chismosa.
I'm not chismosa. I just like to listen. It's fun.
Yeah.
I don't like to
It's a
do this.
pastime.
I like to, you know.
To listen, yeah. People do love to talk.
It's true. Actually, if you look at I'd say any barangay I've been all around the country, like 4 p.m., school's out, everyone's like sitting on on the road or in front of their houses, and they're like cleaning their hair, like talking about, oh, there's Tita coming back, and oh, there's that kid from school. What's he up to? He's been bad today. Like, you know,
Everybody knows everyone. And I think, I guess that's how you got close with so many families, communities, and now you're here. And of course, very soon we'll be having a project. I think that's what I'm learning just hanging out with you, is that there are so many more things to discover, like from a macro level, because I guess you really get to go in there and people are inviting you into their homes. Yeah. It's a gift. I mean, thank you for sharing.
Well, I think too, it's like, it's not even me. It's interesting. People will be like, oh man, like, thanks for showing this Kulas. But at the end of the day, like, everything I do is actually just Filipinos sharing cool, awesome stuff with me and me sharing it back. It's just like Filipino driven.
Correct.
I've just been very blessed and fortunate to just be this guy, kind of super stoked and inspired in the middle of it all. So it's really...
No, they're really inviting you into their homes.
Literally. Like,
and
hearts, many homes.
Yeah. And I think, what other people don't know is that even in the face of calamity, you are there for them. And you don't publish that side of it. But
often,
I want to say thank you because I know you've done it a bunch of times.
Cool, thanks.
When there is something that happens in a community that
sometimes
requires help, you do make your way there.
We all do together. So it's like...
Yeah, so thank you. I know you don't publish that, so now you know. He does that, yeah.
Should I drop the one where you're gonna invite me into your home? No, just joking.
Well, you are in their homes right now.
There we go.
I think you should be back another time and we will do another episode just sausawan.
We could, just straight
That's
up.
it.
Why don't we just do an hour of sausawan?
Correct.
You know what's funny? I kid you not, I don't think it would be boring. Because sausawan is never boring.
And everyone has their opinion. And everyone's like, no, my sausawan is the best sausawan. I actually got into a fight with somebody because I didn't want to share my sausawan. I was like, this is my sausawan.
I believe it. Like,
right?
Maybe we should just have...
the sausawan episode.
We should just do a lot of things sausawan. I feel like we can...
Yeah.
I feel like this is a future of
because you are
big things.
We even haven't done Team Halo Halo versus Team Mais Conielo. I think that's our next episode.
That'd be kind of fun too.
Right.
Can you just like make some sort of play or song about sausawan as well?
Sausawan and Halo Halo.
Yeah.
Perfect. That's our restaurant.
There we go.
Dessert and
dessert and
There's
vinegar.
No meat.
You can dip. Or no, sausawan doesn't just have to be vinegar. There's toyo.
Yeah.
There's calamansi.
Sausawan and rice. And then for dessert, halo halo or mais conielo.
I've actually done that. You just eat the sausawan and rice. It's good. Diba? Like, come on.
Puede.
Don't judge me, huh? Come on. Like, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Can you just say it again too, how your friend says it? Sausawan.
Sausawan. There
Sounds
you
like
go.
Sounds like a scandalous documentary.
Sausawan. Makisawsaw na kayo dito sa Case Drama. Thank you so
Thank
much,
you.
Kulas, for being here.
Thanks for the chica. It was really good.
I know. This is bitin, so it means there just has to be a part 2. Maybe when our little show comes out.
Cool.
Right? We'll be back and talking
Great.
about your wedding and all these things, updates, and then we can do a live selling
I'm in.
of
Live
Likhang
selling
Maragondon.
sounds great.
Right?
That'd be fun.
That'd be
I can be the
fun.
model.
Correct. Perfect. Yeah, so watch out for that. And thank you so much for being on Case Drama.
Yeah, thanks so much for having me. It was good times. Salamat. Bye. Oh, I like up here. Listen.
Our mascot.
The dog is shy.
She
I was
doesn't
going
want
for
it
the
to
fear.
end. Oh yeah, we have to do an affirmation. So there's the thing, Finn. You have a lot of positive things to say, but we end the podcast usually with an affirmation or just a simple phrase or a life lesson that you want to share. But it's something that's pretty concise that I can repeat it and something that they can take home with them or just take with them
Okay.
after they listen to this.
So just very short.
Like something you live by or
Something
you want to
literally
impart.
every if you look at any major Facebook post I make on my page, at the very bottom I always just say 1 day at a time.
Yeah.
So whatever it is, if it's like 1 day at a time, one Sausawan at a time, or 1 day at a time, one like island at a time. For me, it's that actually comes from after Typhoon Yolanda when I was doing work with locals because it was so overwhelming. But what
Yes.
got us through it was just 1 day at a time.
Yeah.
So I just take that with me every day, everything I do. People are like, "What do you see in the future?" I'm just taking it 1 day at a time.
Yeah.
So,
Then you just
affirmation.
don't overwhelm yourself.
Yeah,
So
it's-
can you say it and then I'll repeat it with you?
okay. So my affirmation is 1 day at a time.
Okay, together. 1
1
day at a time. Thank you so much.
Cool.
Let's get up. Let's
I
give
love
it
your
up for
class.
Kulas.
My gosh, I love it. Feel good, even the dog. Wow.
She doesn't like. She
So
doesn't
cute,
like
Ba.
it when people are laughing.
1 day at a time, 1 bark at a time.
One
There you
bird
go.
at a time. Finn, you want to do a trick for that? Ready? Ready? Are you taking this?
Yeah.
Ready? Sit. Okay. Up and turn. Up and turn. Up and turn. Give me 5.
Oh my gosh.
Good girl. Okay.
I like how you guys all clap at things too.